Welcome back to the Free Flow podcast with me, Lauren McKenna, and my sister, Nikki Ashley. We are here inviting people into this safe space, those who are on this journey of growth, learning, expansion, and we are talking about everything from being on the spiritual journey, from the deepest depths of our soul to everyday nonsense, living in our late 20s. Nick, how are you, my love?
I'm good, Dory.
Oh, good, Nini. How's your day going?
It's really good. I had like a low point. Not even low, but I was just super off the past couple days and I feel like I got back on it and yeah, like I'm starting to feel the benefits of the hard work that I'm doing with regulating, and it just feels good when you start to like reap the benefits.
Yeah, for sure. It's ironic because you say hard work with regulating, and it's kind of
Mm,
like an oxymoron a little bit because, in a strange way, it's like it is difficult because you're rewiring your nervous system. You're quite literally rewiring your sense of reality. Yet at the same time, you're teaching your body to feel safe and teaching it that things don't need to be hard, you
right.
know?
Right. That's like definitely my narrative, to just say things are hard.
And as I have expressed, my motto recently has been I simply decide life is easy.
You know what mine has been?
Hmm.
Slow is safe.
Yes, I love that.
Because I
I
tend to
love that.
move real fast.
Yeah, I get that. Something that I've noticed, which I think every entrepreneur notices and that you've expressed before, is today I was working on stuff with like the podcast, everything we're doing, and you're on the computer, it's all that nonsense. And I actually love it. Like, I actually love doing this stuff, but it does make me quite spazzy at the same time because you're just like clicking and staring and all the things. And it's like something I'm learning right now is how to balance that out, like how to stay regulated whilst
Mm,
being on tech so much because I've never had a job where I'm like on tech.
mhm.
And also being able to turn it off because I find myself then really craving like scrolling on TikTok
Dude,
and checking my
yes.
social media. Yeah.
Okay, this is why I had like a download about this earlier in my journal yesterday when I was journaling.
Hot.
Okay, so we listened to a podcast, and we can try and find it and link it. We listened to a podcast on the way home from California, and she was stating that one of the reasons why people reach for their phones in the morning or reach for coffee is because they innately have a effed up circadian rhythm, and they have an effed up regulation or nervous system, and so they need that jolt, they need that
Mm-hmm.
surge to turn on, almost like out of freeze. I don't know if that's the mechanism, but it's essentially like igniting their system to get them up and moving. And I
Mm-hmm.
notice after a day of work, working from home, looking at a screen, I'm craving tech as a way to give me a surge, give me adrenaline, because I'm so beyond fatigued
Mm-hmm.
that I don't even want to get up.
Yeah, and I also think, at least for me, I noticed because I was on tech, and then I watched with Mom Devil Wears Prada because the new one's coming out, and I haven't seen the first one.
Isn't it good?
Yeah, it's actually really good. Fucked up. It's like fucked up, but really good. But we watched that. Then I had a bath, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do silence for a few minutes. And it was like I had to feel everything that I was feeling all day that I hadn't felt because I was distracted. And
So,
it was also, what?
so you think that tech is a way for us to distract ourselves from how we feel?
Yes, because it's quick stimulation.
You're right. You're right. That makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, it's you're boom, 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 boom. 1 second, I have to let the cat out. That's gonna be
I hear
really
him.
annoying in the background. Pants. Mr. Poo Poo Pants. There is also this fear, I feel like, that, oh, I have to be on social media and checking everything and being up to date and answering messages. And it's like, realistically, my post got, I think, 4 likes today. Like, there's
Mm,
nothing that is going to change. There's nothing that is threatening anybody's life that I need to check right now, you
right.
know? But I feel like there is.
I don't know if you also do this, but it's almost like I check. And whether it's Instagram and I have a notification from my friends or whether it's my phone, I have a text, it's almost like I then get overwhelmed and then I close it out and I go to another app and I see another notification and I get overwhelmed and I close it
Yes.
out.
Yes.
It's so silly. But what I wanted to tell you is today I tried a new nervous system technique after working, and I
Mm.
literally went into child's pose, put 3 pillows between my legs in a parallel position, and then I put my head on the pillow. And I only stayed there. It was something I found on Pinterest, and they said stay there for 10 minutes, just breathing. Don't look at your phone, don't listen to a podcast, just lay there. And I did it for only 8 minutes, and I felt such a downregulated shift from the sympathetic state of that I was working in. And you're welcome. I did it so I came in grounded for this podcast.
Oh my God, thank you.
But I am so happy to see that like the more I do this work, the easier it is to switch into parasympathetic state from sympathetic. Because we have more
Yeah.
tools and our body's used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said previously, your vagus nerve becomes more, what did you say? More
Well, it's
resilient?
vagal toning, right?
Right.
So you're training your vagus nerve that correlates to that state of safety in our body. You're training it to be able to withstand greater ranges of emotion and stimulation. And it becomes easier. It's just like training your muscle. It becomes stronger, right? It becomes stronger in a variant array of situations.
Yeah. And what I would love to talk about today, and I know, Dory, it's a big topic, and we'll just do an intro on it, but I would love to talk about how spiritual warfare and obstacles and challenges manifest in the physical body. Boom,
Yeah,
go.
Nick told me that she wanted to speak on this today, and I was like, you want to tackle how wounds manifest in the body? This is honestly, Nick, you know why I think that triggered me is because I feel that that is quite literally my life path, is
Mm,
understanding how wounds, you can say cocoon, shadows, whatever, physically manifest in the body. I feel that that is one of my purposes here on earth is to shed light on that. So I think that's why I feel that it's a big piece to chew off. But go ahead, share, and then I'll just kind of share from my perspective too.
I think it's interesting because a common pattern in my life, and this is what Kabbalah calls tikkun, it's a reoccurring pattern that you're supposed to work on in this life, like a soul's purpose, a soul's growth. People have many.
Like a lesson to be learned.
And mine is control. I look at many different areas of my life, whether it's work, grades, men, friendships, and I am a fiend for control. I love control. And it isn't until doing this work, spiritual work, I mean, that looking back retroactively, it's when I let go of control that the magic happened, which sounds so um stream it sounds so intuitive, right? It sounds so simple, but it's not. And for example, when I was applying for jobs, I literally would go with Lauren to the public library right out of college, and I wanted a unique job for a company I loved. And I kid you not, I probably reached out to over 100. I could not for the life of me get a job. Finally, I got a job for an engineering company, not one I was passionate about. And that let go of the pressure, that let go of my urgency towards getting a job. And then in my free time, I would just DM people on LinkedIn asking to volunteer at companies. And a company bit the bait. Again, I was no longer coming from this like lack, urgency, deep desire. Like, think of it as if you love something so much you're strangling it. You want something so much you're strangling it. And I got a job and I'm still working there 6 years later and I love it. And it's a company I'm so passionate about. And so I started to see this pattern throughout my life. And then the light bulb went off when I looked internally at my own obstacles. My own health journey is long, but essentially, to summarize, through a cascade of putting myself in extreme stress mentally, mental warfare, combined with environmental toxins of mold toxicity and not, and then trying a cascade of supplements and protocols, I have become super sensitive and super reactive to everything. This has manifested as a histamine intolerance and mast cell activation syndrome, so much so that my legs are literally bright red today because I ate things I shouldn't have and I worked out too hard. So I'm just very reactive. I'm a very sensitive gal right now. And I also developed IBS constipation, which is interesting because, again, looking at the way that the body manifests things that you're feeling spiritually and mentally, if I'm clinging my life, right? I'm clinging on to control and just tense and picture like a tangled up ball of twine. Internally, I'm literally clenching my intestines and I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was literally constipated because energetically I was backed up. I was clenching and then that manifested in my body. So it's very interesting how the body knows, and I kid you not, it's not it's almost so simple to heal yourself. And I don't want to sound cocky because I have so much healing to go, but it's almost so simple to heal yourself that it seems too good to be true. I started vagal toning, which is just 10 minutes in the morning and the night. I started to let go of control and I started going to the bathroom, and I've not been backed up in over 6 months, which is a huge win. But for me, it stemmed all from digestion, and Lauren's had a little bit different of an experience as to how her cocoons or life lessons have manifested in her body. Ori, do you want to speak on it a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So you're speaking on control, right? And why are we desiring control? Why do we feel that we need to have control? Because we are living in fear. We are living in separation. We feel that we need to fight to stay safe, and control comes from the mind. The mind is a problem solver, and it's our tool. Animals, they have physical tools like claws, teeth, speed. We don't. We have our minds. That's how we hunt. That's how we stay safe. Yet, we have been taught as a society to live in our minds all day long, to constantly be solving problems. And our mind, again, is just a problem solver. It's meant to be a tool. We are not meant to live life from the mind's perspective. So we create control out of this fear. And it's funny listening to David Guillaume. He was saying that water signs, Nikki's a Pisces, I'm a Cancer. I don't know much about astrology, but he speaks on it with Kabbalah. And he was saying that water signs move from fear. Isn't that interesting?
Wait, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And so, yeah, everything's Nick's saying, right? makes so much sense. When our soul, and by soul, that's such a simple term to use, you know? I mean, our energy, our beliefs, our being. When something is out of alignment, our body is signaling this to us, trying to tell us. It's a good thing that it's trying to tell us because it's saying, hey, you're not living the best life that you could be. You're not living in your truth. You're not living in your sovereignty. You're not living in your highest good for yourself and the world. And that manifests in a way that we can see and feel that. And I forgot who said this, but they were saying how physical ailments will first like whisper and then knock on your door and then they'll kind of like knock you out. So, you know, you might have like a little constipation here and there, but it's not enough to do anything about it. And then you start getting really bad rashes and it's like, okay, now this has more of my attention. Then you come down with, I don't know, some type of illness, some type of pain that you simply can't ignore. And it's like, if you're not going to listen to your body, it's just going to speak louder and louder to you until you do. And speaking on this concept of control, I will share my own experience just very briefly. I have a history of being a personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, performance enhancement specialist. I have a certificate in pain-free movement, trigger point therapy, all because I have had chronic pain since I was 14 years old, right? So I tried to fix it from the outside, from the external, from doing the quote unquote correct movements, correct form. Now, being 26 and having lots and lots of knowledge on the subject, lots of experience, and only feeling worse, I felt completely helpless and pissed off and in victim mode, right? Now, I started to sense that there was something more to this pain. Probably 2 years ago, I got this very random insight when I was high one night to be celibate for 6 months. Um,
Which for you
and
is a long time.
Nicole, I have been celibate for 6 months for no reason now.
I'm just saying, in that era of
Jesus.
you, that was a long
No, I was
time.
already past my nonsense era at that point.
Mm.
Thank you so much for that though. Appreciate that.
We all have it, that phase.
Did you?
Yes, I did
Okay.
make out with some strangers at a bar once upon a time.
Yeah, that's the same as being celibate. So, um, fucking, what was I saying? Oh, at that time, I did not understand why I knew I needed to do that. When I say celibate, I mean like no orgasming, right? I'm whispering because there's people in the house. So, not even like a me time thing, you know? And I was like, this is just too much. For some reason, I knew that it was just too much for my body because I was always in pain afterwards. And I now look back a couple years ahead and I realized that my body was going into a state of fight or flight that never felt safe for me. It was like too much. It was too much, right? Like my body felt panicked by that. And that's why it would trigger the chronic pain even worse and everything. All that to say, um, about 7 months ago, I had sat in ceremony with ayahuasca, and one of the questions that I had was, what the fuck is up with this pain, right? Because at this point, it depresses you, right? Like when you have chronic health issues, it makes everyday living so fucking difficult. And I look back and I'm like, okay, no wonder I didn't want to get up and do the dishes. No wonder I didn't want to get up and do laundry. Like it hurt my body so much, but it was just so normal for me that A, I thought I was making it up, and B, I was kind of like ignoring it. But I'm like, even the smallest things just felt like climbing a mountain. So, no, I was never lazy. I was just in fucking pain. So, I'm in ceremony. And when I tell you, my shoulder was literally, it was like vibrating. I could not even mimic it right now if I wanted to. The way it was like pulsating, and it was quite literally shifting back to its normal state. And I was told, you're not going to completely heal tonight, but the more you step into the power, into your power, you will heal. And I remember telling my friend that night, I was like, I'm worried to go into ceremony because I'm worried that there's like something dark in me, you know? And I told him, I was like, it's in my right side, like my shoulder area, right? I'm like, I can feel it. I know that it's right there. I said, it's either fear or it's something dark. And they were like, listen, whatever it is, like face it, you know? And it was fear. Like my I was shown how there's so much energy within me that I'm meant to be using, that I'm meant to be sharing with the world, that I'm meant to be expressing. Like us just doing this podcast is us expressing that all of that energy inside of me just it's like going crazy and it's just getting more active, and it's like, does that make sense, where it's just too much in this confined space that of course you're going to be in pain because it's like bottled up just more and more and more energy. And you speaking on your hives and your itchiness, that's what I think of when you speak on that, is like all of this energy within you that has no place to go, and it's showing up in that form, right? Because then you're releasing a bunch of energy by like itching. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I would agree because it definitely happens after I'm like amped up and I'm not releasing the energy. But it's also, I think personally, it's me being very reactive, and essentially my alarm system is out of whack. And so I need to, and I'm working on diligently calming, feeling safe so that my body and my alarm system can calm down, right? Like, so I can have a piece of bread and not get a headache. My body is seeing everything as harmful because it sees everything as a state of unsafety, if that's a word. It's seeing everything as unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of what it truly is. And so it's interesting that you say fear because I think fear is behind control. Why do you want control? Because you're afraid of something. Either a lack of something, like I'm not going to find a boyfriend, so I want control that I'm going to find one via Hinge, right? So it's either out of lack and fear, or it's out of afraid something's going to happen. Like I'm going to lose my job, so I need to be the best employee ever.
Well, and that's lack, right?
Well, I guess, yeah. Yeah, it all comes back to lack and fear.
Yeah, and lack is separation.
From what? You keep.
So it's the concept of we're all, I said this the other day, we're all drops of water in the ocean, right? Separation is me against you. Separation is life is against me. Life is hard. I have to fight on my own.
Mm,
Oneness is realizing that we are all fragments of the same source. It's realizing that the power of source, of light, of love is within me. You are a reflection to me. Me and you are one in the same. Truly, it's just drops of water, different drops of water from the same ocean.
I'm gonna make a very bold statement that would might irritate some people.
Okay.
I truly do not think you can heal from chronic illness, mold toxicity, mass cell activation, histamine intolerance without relying on a higher power. It has been the biggest game changer in my healing journey because, well, there's so many reasons, but one of the biggest ones is one of the reasons people get chronically ill is because they're trying to control and they think mistakenly that they have control over their future. Nobody does.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we surrender and we let go and we trust that everything's good, that everything is a lesson, that we are being guided and loved and protected by source, whatever you want to name this higher universal energy, you can let go of the reins and it feels so good. It's so hard. Day to day, I'm reminding myself like to do this, but it is so freeing.
Well, and that's where my anxiety started. I mean, that's a whole other episode, but I didn't have faith in anything, and I was convinced that we were living in hell. I was convinced that this was hell. And once I remember I did a yoga tape, Travis Elliott, and it was like the first hopeful thing that I had heard. And that, not that in and of itself, but that was the kickstart to me healing my anxiety. Because
Mm,
exactly as you're saying, I was living in fear. It was me against the world, when in reality, the world is supporting us. The universe has our back. We are the universe. When we don't believe in ourselves, we aren't believing in God, source, a higher power. So it's fear or faith, you know?
it's fear or faith. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I also, along that same thread, have found such safety. And who knows, right? We none of us actually know. But I have found such safety in the concept that we choose our soul growth, meaning our cocoons coming down to this planet. And that to me has been really freeing because, again, it's not like I'm weird. I'm more anxious than everybody else. I'm being harmed by the universe. Poor me, blah, blah, blah. It's changing my mindset to your soul came down to learn how to let go of control. So fucking work, so do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mindset shift I've had to make, and it feels so good.
Well, and that's exactly with the chronic symptoms that we're speaking on. Like I was saying, they are a blessing in disguise. 100%. My chronic pain, I was victim to for so long. And don't get me wrong, there's still 100% moments where I catch myself being like, fuck this, poor me, da 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 da. But it has led me on this path of at fucking everything in my life that I am now, of
Mm-hmm.
tapping into my sensitivity, tapping into my own energy, my own, honestly, like, I fully believe we all have our own superpowers, like, genuinely, and tapping into that. Like, my body hurts because I'm extremely sensitive, and I've never acknowledged that because it's not acceptable in society. And now I'm like, oh shit, I'm really sensitive. This is my superpower. I can feel things to the max and I heal through movement. The movement I was doing that was in the gym was never healing me. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying for me, for my own journey, for my own body, it was breaking me down. And the movement practice that I do now heals my chronic pain, moves stagnant energy through my body, heals patterns that have been stuck inside my body. It is so healing and powerful for me. And I want to say, on this topic of fear and faith, like I was saying, the mind creates problems because it's here to solve problems. So I'm kind of thinking of this theory as we're speaking on it, because all of these things are happening in the body, right? And it's like trying to bring our attention back to our body. When you have anything chronically going on there, you're forced to bring your attention there. And if you're living in fear, you're living from your mind. If you're living in faith, you're living from your body. And that is following your intuition, like what feels expansive to you, what feels contractive. And when you follow that blindly. When I follow my intuition, there's no logic there. It never makes sense. There's no reasoning, but I can feel in my body what feels right. And I fucking jump. And that's where the faith is. Fear is going to need reasoning. Faith just needs
A
that
feeling.
feeling in your body.
I would like to real quick wrap it up just for people. This idea of feeling in your body is so innate to Lauren and I just because we've been implementing it for so long. But I know a lot of people that live in their mind. And so I would like you, Lauren, I mean, this is kind of your niche, breath work and body work. If somebody's starting off, what is something they can do to like start to feel in their body? How do you start to observe your body?
Yeah, I mean, I would say one practice right now is to just take your hands and rub them together, right? And just take a breath and just feel that. Rub a little slower.
Like consciously feel your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Do try not to think and
Right.
try to
You
go
don't
into your
need
body.
words. There's no need to be like, oh, this feels this way, this feels this way. And then rub a little faster. What does that feel like on your hands? And then you can separate your hands. Can you feel the inside of them? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel heavy? I know I'm giving words now just to express, some things that if this is a little more outside your realm of normal, you can start to ask yourself these specific questions. And you can do the same thing with your feet on the earth. Just taking a moment to really feel your feet wherever they're planted right now. That sensation. And then can you feel the inside of your feet? And you can touch on your body, start to feel that. You can breathe into your belly, feel the expansion there. And it's totally a practice. There's definitely it'll be, I think, a quicker learn for some people. We all have greater abilities and we all have lack of abilities. And you came here the exact way that you were meant to. And this is just a practice. This is just a practice, a forever practice in this lifetime. And my favorite thing is just what feels expansive and what feels contractive.
Yeah, but can I just say, like, those are very abstract terms. And so I just want to
Yeah,
say, as somebody who's very black and white thinking, it helps me think about it in the sense of what gives me more energy and what makes me feel depleted. So, what feels expansive means that you feel good about it. What feels expansive could mean watching a sunset, having a slow cup of coffee, going on a run. It could be having a conversation with a friend. And you should feel afterwards more energetic, more at peace, at ease. And then what feels contractive means it drains you, it takes away your energy, it probably is not in alignment. Or, I mean, I don't want to say my job's on alignment, and it does take energy from me, right?
I would argue it's not in alignment if you're feeling contracted from it. Because you can have fear, right? But you can have fear and it still light you up. Like there's things that are scary for me that are in alignment, right? Because that's this path we're on of growth is chasing your fears, but it still feels enlightening. It still
Yeah, you're right. You are
feels,
right. You're right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you are right. if it contracts, work does not make me feel contractive. What makes me feel contractive is sitting at my computer. That is not in alignment, but the work itself is in alignment. And one thing that I did just at the beginning, again, I'm not on Lauren's level,
There's no levels
which,
here.
sorry, I'm not as entrenched in spirituality as she is. And just from a lens of a corporate girl starting off on her spiritual journey, I just started by noticing when I was tensing my body. I literally just started sensing when am I holding my breath. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So there's different approaches too. The whole idea is to just become more aware of your body.
Like right now, your shoulders, are you shrugging them at all?
Me?
I'm speaking to whoever.
Oh, the listeners.
Yes.
I thought you were talking to me.
um, your brow, like in between your eyebrows, are you clenching at all? Are you clenching your jaw at all?
Twitching the foot is a huge one.
Yeah, that's like an energy release. That's an energy release for your body trying to regulate itself. But this is all a practice. It really is.
So just wrapping it up, all of this can be encompassed by awareness, right? Awareness in your body and just awareness in your life. It almost, and this is a very Buddhist approach, but it's almost viewing your life from a third person lens. And it really helps to start make observations and recognize patterns.
And also know that your body is your greatest tool. It's never against you. You are not victim to your body. You are your greatest healer. Your body is simply trying to communicate with you. So I very much encourage anybody that this message is resonating with to just listen, talk to your body. It's sending you a message through the only way that it knows how, which is whatever sensation that you're feeling. And it's trying to get your attention. It's trying to help you. It's not against you.
Until next time.
Peace out, Girl Scout.